Imagine living in a normal American town where everything looks quiet on the surface, but just a few feet below your home, the ground is literally on fire. For decades, families in Centralia, Pennsylvania were unknowingly building their lives on top of a burning inferno. Streets looked normal, houses stood in place, yet smoke slowly crept out of cracks in the earth. This is not a movie plot. This is a real American town that has been burning for more than 60 years, and it still hasn't stopped. Centralia was never meant to be famous. Like many small towns in Pennsylvania, it existed for one reason: coal. Founded in the 1800s, Centralia grew because anthracite coal was buried deep beneath its soil. Coal mining brought jobs, families, schools, churches, and local businesses. At its peak, nearly 2,000 people called Centralia home. It was a tight-knit, working-class town where generations grew up expecting to work in the mines, just like their parents before them. Coal wasn't just an industry, it was Centralia's identity. Everything changed in 1962. As part of a routine cleanup before Memorial Day, the town decided to burn trash in an abandoned strip mine that was being used as a landfill. This wasn't unusual at the time. But what was overlooked was a critical detail: that landfill connected directly to underground coal seams. When the trash fire was lit, flames slipped into the mine tunnels below. What seemed like a small, manageable burn quickly turned into something far more dangerous. The fire reached the coal, and once coal catches fire underground, it's incredibly difficult to stop that. At first, officials believed they could control it. But underground coal fires don't behave like normal fires. They move slowly, unpredictably, feeding on endless fuel. As months turned into years, the fire spread through miles of abandoned mine tunnels beneath Centralia. The town above it was still standing, but the danger was growing silently. Soon, the signs became impossible to ignore. Toxic gases like carbon monoxide began seeping up through the ground. Smoke rose from cracks in roads, yards, and basements. Sinkholes started appearing without warning. One of the most terrifying moments came in 1981, when a 12-year-old boy fell into a sinkhole that suddenly opened beneath his feet. He survived only because a relative pulled him out just in time. That incident made national headlines and forced the government to finally acknowledge how serious the situation had become. The federal and state governments tried multiple solutions. They attempted to dig trenches to isolate the fire, pumped water and fire retardants underground, and even considered sealing off entire sections of the mines. Every major project either failed or proved too expensive. The fire had spread too far, too deep. Eventually, officials made a controversial decision. Instead of fighting the fire, they would move the people to. In the 1980s and 1990s, relocation programs were offered to residents. Homes were purchased by the government, families were paid to leave, and entire neighborhoods were slowly emptied. Many residents resisted at first. This wasn't just property, it was their hometown, their memories, their lives. But as conditions worsened, more people accepted buyouts. In the early 1990s, the government used eminent domain to officially claim the remaining properties. Houses were demolished one by one. Streets were removed from maps. Even Centralia's zip code was canceled, a rare and symbolic move that marked the town's official end. Today, Centralia barely exists. Fewer than a dozen residents remain, most of them elderly, living among empty lots and abandoned roads. Nature has reclaimed much of the area. Trees grow where homes once stood. The famous graffiti highway, once a stretch of abandoned road covered in colorful messages, became a tourist attraction before being buried to discourage visitors. And beneath it all, the fire continues to burn. Experts estimate the underground fire could keep burning for another 200 to 250 years. There is no realistic plan to extinguish it. The coal seams are too deep, too vast. Centralia is now a cautionary tale taught in environmental science and public policy discussions, a reminder of how small decisions can spiral into irreversible disasters. What makes Centralia so unsettling is that this didn't happen in some distant or undeveloped place. It happened in the United States, in a town built on industry, optimism, and routine decision-making. Human error, underestimated risks, and delayed policy responses combine to erase an entire community from the map. It forces an uncomfortable question. Could this have been avoided? And if it happened once, could it happen again somewhere else? Stories like Centralia remind us that even modern societies are not immune to long-term consequences. If you found this story eye-opening, take a moment to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and share it with someone who enjoys real-world mysteries hidden in plain sight. Because sometimes, the most dangerous fires aren't the ones we see. They're the ones burning quietly beneath our feet.